Welcome. In this video, we are going to review ownership. How do you own that property? Is it by yourself? Is it with other people? And what are the features and or differences between joint tenancy, tenants in common, or tenants by the entirety? Are you still struggling to pass the real estate exam? We might have a solution for you. Check out our platform, Press. Pass real estate exam with simple steps. You can check it out. There's a 3 free day trial that you are able to see whether it's the one for you. It includes videos, outlines, our slide deck, practice questions that will help make a difference towards you getting to your goal of passing your exam. Let's get started. Ownership. We are going to review based on the topics that are presented when you go take the real estate exam. There are 2 testing facilities. One of them is PSI, and the topic of ownership is presented under the title of property ownership. These are the subtopics found under that particular section. You will see in letter D, types of ownership, tenants in common, joint tenancy. When you are exposed to the Pearson view, and here the differences are, it's almost 50-50. Over 21 states are using the PSI testing facility, and then the rest are going to be using Pearson view. When you're going to take the real estate exam, you will definitely know which one you will be exposed to. The breakdown for the Pearson view, the topic of ownership is found under the title Forms of Ownership, Transfer and Recording of Title. Subtopic A, Ownership, Estates, Rights, and Interest. You see that they will review questions on the topic of forms of ownership. Therefore, we're going to discuss the types or the forms of ownership when you are involved with your future buyer. Some of these questions will come up. They will be addressed in detail by the title company. However, you do need to have some sort of idea to review this content with them. So here we go. When you are purchasing a house, this is now a conversation that we need to pause and review. If you're going to buy it by yourself, how you're going to own it is ownership in Severalty. Yes, on purpose, I break up those words because to sever means to cut off. This is how one individual owns a property or one company. It is referenced to as ownership in Severalty. When it's 2 or more individuals, the term will be co-owners or concurrent owners. 2 or more individuals, you have choices. So let's go through the differences. Tenants in common versus joint tenancy. Let's review. Tenants in common presents itself where, again, 2 or more individuals own this property. It does not have to be equal. So if it's 2 people, one can own 60% of it, the other individual 40%. If it's 3 people, it can be split up whichever way. It does not have to be equal shares. And here we're just discussing in terms of the rights, which maybe simply put is when the property is sold, how much are you getting? If there's any profit, how is it going to be split up? Or how much money did you contribute towards the purchase of this house? So I'm trying to put it in a simpler way. Each individual can do whatever they want with their share. I can sell my 60% to whomever I want, transfer it, get a mortgage, and definitely put it in my will. When I am no longer here, somebody is going to be able to get my share. However, we all have to agree when we want to sell the entire property. Other things presented is that tenants in common does not have right of survivorship. You will see those three words again. So right of survivorship as way of introduction right now means that when something happens to one of us, we own the property together. In tenants in common, when I pass away, it is going according to my will or to my heirs, it being my share. So once again, upon death, my share, whatever percentage it is, will go to my heirs or according to the will. Best example we can share here is if anyone is owning a condo, is going to buy a condo, or you know someone. Condos will come with, for example, common elements, which includes the elevators, the stairway, the outside. All that is shared amongst all the other owners, and it's usually going to be as tenants in common. Let's now introduce joint tenancy. And this image hopefully is going to work for you when you go take the exam in terms of looking at your hand. And I'm going to be using the knuckles because the knuckles are joints and they are holding together the fingers. So I'm going to be using the 4. Once you make a fist, that is joint tenancy. So just hold up your hand and make a fist so that you remember that this has joint tenancy and it has pit. The 4 fingers or knuckles, possession, interest, time, and title. We all own the property together. We need permission from all of us to sell the property. Interest. We all have equal share. If it's 2 of us, 50-50. We all did it at the same time today. And on that piece of document, it is stated. In review, joint tenancy, we do not have to be married. It needs to be stated on the deed. That's a 4th thing under pit, title. It is stated that we own the property together as joint tenants. What does that provide when we own a property as joint tenants is that we shall have the right of survivorship, meaning if one of us is no longer here, you, the surviving person, are going to get my share. That is joint tenancy. Let's review and see the common parts between tenants in common and joint tenancy, and then what are some of the differences. So in tenants in common, again, it's 2 or more people or entities. We do not have to be married in either of the 2, tenants in common or joint tenancy. Here's where the differences are. It does not have to be equal under tenants in common. Joint tenancy, it needs to be equal. Tenants in common does not have right of survivorship. Joint tenancy does. The last one is tenants by the entirety. So we're covering how you can own a property by yourself. We've covered that. We've then covered 2 or more individuals. When they're not married, the choices are tenants in common or joint tenancy. Tenants by the entirety is where the individuals are married. So this is a benefit for a married couple. It does have right of survivorship, which once again, when one of the spouses is no longer with us, their share is now owned by the entirety. by the surviving spouse. It cannot be dissolved by petition. So in review, petition might be introduced here to you. So let's review that. Petition is where we can go to court and ask the judge to help us part ways. This is afforded for joint tenancy and tenancy in common. You and I own the property together. You want to sell, I do not. So we go to court if we own it under joint tenancy or tenancy in common, and we can go through a court case known as petition for the judge to help us part ways. What are the similarities between the two? Tenants by the entirety and joint tenancy. They seem similar, right? So we have right of survivorship on both sides. It is equal share on both sides. What is different is tenants by the entirety cannot be dissolved by petition. You'd be going through a divorce and following whatever the rules are for that state. Joint tenancy, we do not have to be married in order to own the property together and have right of survivorship. Tenants by the entirety is for married individuals. Joint tenancy, remember, make a fist, has pit, possession, interest, time, and title. Yes. You are overwhelmed as you are going through this particular course. That is why we created PRESS, Pass Real Estate Exam in Simple Steps. You might be tired of studying for hours on end. There's so many videos on YouTube. There's so much to read in the different textbooks or apps that you're using. You've gone and taken the exam and things are not working out to where you have passed. I encourage you to check out our platform, Press Platform, which is designed to help you succeed. What does it have? Our video library, and here's where we have labeled them or sorted them out based on content. So if you're studying about contracts, everything about contracts is in one place, including our slide deck, outlines, practice questions specific for those topics. It includes a 90-minute monthly exam prep session, and every week, accountability helps. We are going to be live where you can ask questions and we respond for 30 minutes in reviewing the content. All of this is available for you to check out by signing up for a 3-day trial at no obligation to you. I'm sure you will enjoy it, and when you're ready to invest, you will be able to do it right on that website, thepressplatform.com. Thank you so much for checking out this video. As a reminder, please subscribe, please share, turn on the notification bell, and we shall see you next time. That was awesome, right? You like our style? I look forward to helping you reach your goal of passing the real estate exam. We offer group coaching sessions on a monthly basis, and we also have tutor sessions that would match your availability. Show the love. Go ahead and subscribe. Put your comments in the video here and we shall respond. Go ahead and like, share it with your friends. I look forward to helping you reach your goal of passing the real estate exam.